Hey Aquarius, how's it going? Thank you so much for checking out my channel here, Reflexive Moon Tarot. We are doing your reading for the new moon in Leo. So passing through in the new lunar phase, the moon was in the sign Leo. And so my interpretation of that is that it is challenging us to stay lit, to keep our confidence lit, to keep our courage lit, our ability to be brave, charismatic, and all the things that embody strong leadership. So through a period of darkness, trying to stay lit. And that basically means also the challenge would be the negative attributes that are affiliated with Leo. And those would be arrogance, as well as being domineering and sort of aggressive, but more controlling. Okay, so those are the challenges that we will be facing in this brief period, or even through the next 28 days as well, given like the impact of this new moon, this lights out for the moon. So basic lights out activities that we can do to refresh our space with the marking of this new lunar cycle is cleaning out our home, just refreshing our space, maybe doing like a cleanse or something. Those are also really, really helpful activities to get us reset for the new lunar phase and welcome the new light as the moon gets more lit slowly. So I pulled a couple of cards today, and they are the Flying Queen and Glamour, number 47 and 48 in the Oracle of Black Enchantment, Deviant Moon Tarot. Deviant Moon, by Deviant Moon, I should say. So my biggest takeaway from these is that a growth mindset is what's going to help us to move out of our ability to move into our ability to be more realistic about how we see ourselves, as opposed to what society is presenting we should look like or we do look like. And also, I don't know, I just like the idea of focusing on the growth mindset aspect of it, because it's about forward momentum. It's about having the courage to change, and the sign of Leo really will support us with that as well. We might be seeing things better than they really are, but we also and that's like a symptom of being like struggling to meet the best version of ourselves as well. It's like, toxic positivity. You think that we're good and wonderful and not causing any harm, when in actuality, when you look at things very realistically, there are ways in which we are causing harm. So it's really, really important to see and be rigorously honest about how we think we are nice, and in actuality, there's there's something distasteful about our presence. And with Aquarius, Aquarians are often quite golden and friendly and personable and wonderful to be around. But that doesn't always mean that it's received in that way, because sometimes it can be received like it's fake, or sometimes it can be and not to say that there aren't any shitty Aquarians out there, like, who you are. So we don't need to read you for your filth too much to all the poopy people out there. But I would definitely say being honest with yourself and what you contribute to situations is definitely helpful. And we have purgation. Oh, purgation. So purging. What are we purging here? Number 46 might be significant. This is the Zammer deck we're looking into now. 46. So 4 and 6 is 10. So number 1, if with numerology, that might be what you want to read up on. And okay, so this is about accepting the aspects of yourself. So maybe you're doing some shadow work, and that's what this glamour card is revealing. So inclusion, allowance, acceptance, putting up with something even though it's a nuisance, and that definitely applies to a shadow aspect of yourself. And putting up with things even though they're a nuisance. So I guess tolerance is a form of acceptance as well. I'm not sure who you see as a nuisance or what you see as a nuisance. That will be up for you to decide. But I feel like, you know, being your fabulous Aquarian self, that's not really going to be too difficult. You're able to sort of accept everyone and understand that in order to sustainably live cohesively, you got to tolerate some bullshit sometimes. Only sometimes though, okay? Only sometimes. Just remember that. And I would assert that even, like, I'm okay with this, but only sometimes. You don't get this from me all the time, so you better be grateful. I mean, that is a bit spiteful, but I think it's just important to assert the fact that you're accepting something that you don't really like tolerating. You're including somebody that you don't really care for, perhaps. Just is what it is. And I would say don't do that half-ass either. Do not do it half-ass. Because, like, when you think about not tolerating a nuisance, right? Like when you're doing things like cutting these roots of this evil entity, making sure that it won't take root too deeply in your life, right? You really have to do that effectively. Like you dig, you know, when you're pulling out the weeds are there. When you're pulling them out by the roots to make sure that not too many of them come back, it's difficult to do that perfectly. The weeds are still going to be there, right? But making sure that you do that as best as you possibly can so that it doesn't take over your life. It's like having good boundaries. And understanding that you have that, I would say, like, knowing that you're privileged and lucky as well to be where you are, to have what you have, to know who you know. You may not yet have developed that legacy level of generational wealth, but you are on the right track. And I feel like this is a perfect time for you to acknowledge that that is the case. And I would say that you're also strongly connected to, like, spirit helpers that are there supporting you, ancestors. You have you're like, it's like you're chained to them. It's like you have a treaty with them. It's bound by Creator. However, there's there's something that you're kind of missing out on. There might be a young person in your life that you're concerned about. You're concerned about what it is that you're teaching them, or them being able to develop the skills to at least try to get to be where you're at, making sure that what it is that you've accomplished translates to this young person. If this is a love interest, I would say that they are not a cool individual. But there's somebody that doesn't have any money and that's just learning how to have money. You might have lost someone as well. If that is the case, I'm sorry to hear that. Condolences to you and yours. But I don't think, this person might be just costing you as well. It might not be someone that you have lost. It's just they're costing you more than what you had anticipated even. They could be an earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. But I feel like it's more about teaching them the ability to develop their skill set. Or there is a certain skill set that you still need to develop. Or an ethic that you need to develop. Because the pages are immature, especially when they're reversed, that will get you to that generational wealth. Okay, that's interesting. It could be a work ethic. It could be like actual ethics. But there's going to be some type of change. Like there's going to be an uprooting. The foundation is going to crumble. And it might be of your own doing. Not to say that like this is what you get. It's like your own doing. Like you made a decision to change something in your life. And now everything is no longer going to be the same. And you know, it might be a little bit drastic. It might be a little bit uncomfortable. It may make you want to sort of lash out or, you know, eat a whole tub of ice cream or something. Go out and let loose to forget about it. Something. Yeah. That's heavy. That can be heavy. And it might be a bit of a struggle for you as well. It might be a bit of a battle for you to like accept some change or this conflict of embracing a paradigm shift or embracing like you might just feel lost with a great unknown that is ahead of you. You don't know how it's going to turn out. You might, on one hand, be feeling really excited and really great about new changes in your life, accepting new things in your life, and new roles and responsibilities. On the other hand, you may feel like, oh my God, I'm so lost. I have no idea what I'm doing. I can't do this. So it's like you can look at it two different ways, where you're at peace with the chaos and also feeling like so super lost with the chaos of it all. And it's, you know, when your world comes crashing down, like, especially when you have to let go of old pieces of yourself, things that you were used to, like freedoms maybe that you were used to having, as well as just feeling like kind of like you're in control of the situation. Life will take you for a run when it comes to that. So this is either in the past, you being cheap with yourself and others on some level. You being cheap with yourself, or you not having enough. I feel like it's all of them, to be honest with you. There's been times where you're dealing with not having enough money, not having enough, not feeling connected enough, just not having enough, like being in need on some level. You've experienced that. In need of help, in need of services, in need of anything related to your health as well. You could have needed mental health support. You could have needed medical support. All the things you might not have been getting it. And so on account of that, it might have put you into like a lack mentality, which then in turn might have made you cheap or really finding it difficult to be generous, or like forgetting what it was like to be generous. Or maybe even you just never had an opportunity to know what generosity is. Because sometimes I find, like, it's interesting. The Six of Pentacles reversed can also be like a bit of a Robin Hood kind of situation, where you're taking in order to give as well. Giving things that don't belong to you. And like it can also be a form of like shady philanthropy. like an organization that was really shady that you were employed in as well, and the money was dirty money, or it was just working for somebody that had a really terrible worldview. Like they were like really, they could have been like racist or transphobic or like white saviorism, right? That sort of thing. Whoops. Okay, then we have the Two of Pentacles. So in the future, the very near future, you're going to be working hard for your money, dancing for your money even. And any kind of dancing. It doesn't have to be belly dancing. It doesn't even have to be dancing. This is just you putting yourself out there in a balanced way for the purpose of achieving health and growth with your finances. It's having a direction, or getting yourself active and doing the act of pursuing your career, whether that be like doing some type of internship, volunteering, or just getting back into work, period. Even if it's like at an entry level, or just doing something basic, like something that most people would consider a side hustle, but you're just like doing it because you have a whole bunch of other stuff on your plate. So it is like a side hustle, but it is the thing that brings in some cash flow, as opposed to everything else that you might be doing. So just get, it could be crafting, like artisan work, that type of stuff. But just, I really feel like it's going to be centered in creativity. That I feel like is the biggest takeaway. What it is that you make. Shaking your money maker. Or making what it is that gets your money. All right. We got the Knight of Swords. So your attitude is on point. You want to learn, you want to do. You need some direction. Usually you need a little bit of nurturing on some level as well. So you need some love. But this is about learning, and this is about communication too. Like getting good with communicating what it is that you need to do and taking action. Now, you're struggling a little bit to decide what it is that you want to focus on. Now, that could be because there's a lot going on in your life. But I would say that you need to not be all over the place. Like this endeavor that you choose to do, like let it just be your focus. Try to pick one thing at a time. You know, it's like when you're cleaning your house, you pick one space at a time. Sometimes you get, when you're putting stuff away, you get taken to the other spaces, but don't let that distract you. Go back to the original space and do things like set timers. And like, that's what the Knight of Swords is good at too. Like they're good at doing that stuff. They have, sometimes there's like if you look towards systems that have already been created, like, there's people out there that do all kinds of like tutorials or reels on Instagram and stuff, little things that they do that is part of their system. So learn from other people with successful systems, or who are out there with the purpose of teaching their successful system, because there can be some big takeaway from that, and then you won't have to worry about coming up with your own plan. Just try to follow some type of routine or solution and get creative about it. Someone said to me earlier, like, just dance and have a good time while you do your stuff, right? That's solid advice. Also, restraint. You really hope that the choices that you've made to remain in moderation with your, like, the flow of your emotions. Like, you don't want to be all over the place, and you don't want things to get dramatic and out of control. You want everything to sort of stay cool, stay chill, just be like not in control, but approach things calmly without having to resort to catastrophic thinking or just anything that gets the adrenal glands overworking to feel like that's what you need to get motivated. You just want it to naturally flow. That is at the core of temperance. It's warm, it's inviting, it is peaceful. It's like the best fire that you can have, you know? Just a moderate hearth fire in your space that keeps everything, that is like multi-purpose. It serves multiple roles, this fiery energy that you want to keep balanced. Okay? Now we have the devil. You will be challenged with what it is that you like, that are your vices. Maybe you want to, like, you just kind of want to let loose, or you just want to let it go on some level, but you got some responsibilities, right? We have responsibilities to stay healthy, so we can't really be over consuming or eating bad things that will make us unhealthy. Or you like to go out and have a good time, and there's some responsibilities that you have that will really challenge you to, you know, do what you need to do to get up in the morning and get your work done and feel good about everything. To feel good with the interactions that you have. Because, you know, when you're exhausted and hungover, for example, it's going to impact the way that you have energy exchanges with people. You might be cranky, and like your coping skills will be challenged or just not there. So we don't want that. And you don't want to lash out at people, and because as golden as you are, the ways in which you may lash out at people, it's obvious. It is so fucking obvious. People think that their passive aggressive ways are like what the people are often mistaken, that passive aggression goes missed. Like it's not acknowledged or it's not visible. But that is such a lie that you might be telling yourself right now. And if you're aggressive, then the same thing applies. Like you just kind of need to stop being aggressive or quit it with your vices, because it's really going to get the best of you. And your world's going to come crashing down on some level. You're going to realize like you just can't do it anymore, and you're going to kind of feel defeated, and it's going to make you feel unhappy, and you don't want that. Because you got a lot coming up for you. You don't want to be unhappy as you continue to make money, to network, and to develop your skills. It's going to be better if you have a good approach, a positive balance with your give and take. It's really, really important. This card is trying to come up through reverse. So balance is key for you right now. Balance is key. And pull one more. Balance is give and take. Connecting with the light in the sky. And an awakening. You'll get your awakening. This tower moment is going to also be an awakening for you. You're going to wake up to all that is good in your life, and it's going to be so fulfilling. It's such a blessing. All right? Thank you so much, Aquarius, for checking out my channel. Please remember to hit that like button, subscribe for more readings, share, comment, all the things, and we will catch you next time. Take care and bye for now.